Our December Teacher of the Month brings her passion for the environment, animals, and art right into the classroom.
And WGN's Gaynor Hall introduces us to Kimberly Savino.
With a deep appreciation for nature, she's nurturing her students to use all of their strengths and interests to carve their own paths.
So take some of the small pieces.
Broken pieces of tile making a beautiful piece of art. This monarch mosaic with a mission, one of the many ways Mrs. Kimberly Savino inspires her students.
You're just never too old to stop learning. And so that love of the monarch butterfly helped me to want to bring other things to kids.
It's a love that grew from when she was about 10 years old, exploring nature with her dad.
I wanted to be an architect at one point. I wanted to be an artist at another point. I wanted to be a teacher. I'd like to be a zoologist, an environmentalist. Somehow I brought all that into teaching, and I was able to make it all work. And I think that if they can find something that they are passionate about and they can do that same thing within their own lives, they'll be one happy person.
Mrs. Savino teaches all subjects to her sixth graders at Collins Elementary School in Schaumburg.
If it's not perfect, don't worry. You're going to be able to revise it. You're going to be able to edit it.
She works in the same classroom where she was once a student teacher more than 20 years ago. During her first year on the job, she won a coveted grant to make a classroom dream a reality. And her dream? A traveling zoo.
And it would go from one classroom to another for 1 week at a time, where all students in that grade level would be responsible for the cleaning, the feeding.
She ran the in-school zoo for 17 years.
The teachers would come into the classroom and they were terrified, but by the end they had snakes around their necks, they were holding tarantulas, they had giant roaches on their faces, they had big, huge millipedes in their hands. It was insane.
She also worked with the school's gardening club and engaged community members on the importance of establishing way stations for monarch butterflies.
Miss Savino has worked on lots of tasks to help the environment.
11-year-old Jace Zidlow nominated Mrs. Savino for Teacher of the Month.
She's a very strict attitude, but that's for our benefits, because when you go to the junior high, they're going to want you to listen to everything they say, no matter what, and so she helps us prepare for that.
Award sponsor Howard Ankin stopped by to deliver a $1,000 check for the school.
On behalf of Ankin Law, I'm proud to present to you the WGN Teacher of the Month Award.
Mrs. Savino has received plenty of accolades over the years, but she says this one is really special.
I really have to say, and I mean this one means the most. And I think the reason why this means the most is because it came from a student, and it came from somebody whom has just really taken everything in like a sponge.
She wants her students to leave her classroom believing in themselves.
I want to make sure you focus on the essential question.
And their power to make a difference.
You only have one planet. This is it. You can't planet jump and go to the next planet when you're finished with this one. So we talk about making good choices and making sure that the world that you leave behind is good for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. And of course there's always giggles because they can't even fathom or imagine that they're going to be parents or grandparents someday.
It will take several years for her after-school club to transform this piece into a finished work of art, joining this completed mosaic as permanent reminders of Mrs. Savino's efforts to see monarchs surviving and her students thriving.
It's not a perfect science, but it ends up looking perfectly imperfect.
And if you know of an incredible teacher helping students soar, just log on to WGNTV.com to submit a nomination for Teacher of the Month. Gaynor Hall, WGN News.